Welcome to Motor City Comic Con 2015.
Everybody give them all a Motor City Comic Con welcome. We have the exact name of the panel, the Dynamite Island of Hazards.
Wow.
Everything.
Wow. Okay.
Did I get it all? So we want to start off thanking everybody for coming. I know it's a little warm in here. They're going to try to get the air on a little bit so not everyone's sweating all over each other. I want to thank you, panelists, for coming. Where are you all coming from? John?
Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Okay. Don, how
Los
about
Angeles, California.
Jimmy?
I think, where was I? I think I was in Vegas, but I've been here for a week though. Because I was at the comedy stuff. Shows and all that.
Let's get right into it. You're a traveling comedian, right?
I'm a road comedy, all over.
How is it on the road, dude? How many weeks a year are you on the road?
I'm on the road probably 45 weeks a year.
Wow.
Yeah, but Dawn's on the road a lot too, because I see her all over. You're
Yeah, but that's happening. I pack and unpack once.
No, I don't. I have a room with all my stuff. It's 4 suitcases. I only use 2, but I look and everything and I write it down what I'm out of. And I just and then I just put it in the other suitcases and then just grab those when I go.
Fair enough. So where's everyone been eating at? I know there's a lot of places around Novi. Are we hitting Detroit at all, or are we staying just local in the Novi area? Because you don't fit.
I'm
but
in
which
the Novi
bothers me.
area because I've worked here so many times. You know.
Yeah.
I was in Woodmore.
Warren? Okay.
Woodmore.
Whitmore.
Whitmore, that's it. I was in Whitmore and I was in Livonia, so we're right in the area.
You're all over the place. Don, how about you? Anywhere in particular? Because you came, was it last year I think I saw you?
A couple years ago.
A couple years ago?
Yeah, I was supposed to be here last year. I was doing a play and they extended it, so.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where I am and I don't know where I go.
Just kind of like stay local?
Yeah, well, I was so tired by the end of the night. Well, no, I did go out last night to strike, something strike. Lucky Strike.
Lucky Strike?
Somebody's
Oh,
strike.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, Lucky Strike.
That guy Penson
No.
came by.
Yeah. And so I went to a disco, which I've never seen, everybody dancing. It was kind of fun.
Cool.
John, how about you?
I
Any
love the
place that
hotel.
you hit? I know I've seen you in Detroit before.
I've
And you
not
like
left the
go to?
hotel.
Never left the hotel?
This time, no. I've
Wow.
not left the hotel.
Are we studying up on a new part or what?
No.
Since it's
I like to
relaxing.
sleep. When you leave the hotel, you have to sleep. Sleep is very important.
It is.
Yeah.
John's 6,000% correct about that.
Yeah.
So we're going to start off with Dawn. Dawn, tell us a little bit about your experience at Gilligan's Island.
It was hard work. Yeah, you know what, I think what's so wonderful today is they have audiences with some of these playing it with them. I love to do stage because you get a reaction. It's very difficult to do comedy if you don't know if it's funny. I mean, it's very difficult. I think Bob Gilligan, his physical being was unbelievable. He just was like a little plastic man. The plots were absolutely stupid. You know, can't surf on and surf off and not letting you know where you were. But it was hard work because there was a lot of stunts and long hours, and a lot of the shows during my era I never saw because we worked till 9 o'clock. You know, I didn't see the Partners Family and that kind of stuff very much.
And that's what everyone says. Like, Jimmy, you can probably talk to this. Everyone, I would love to be an actor. I would love that money. I would love to be on a show and everything. But I don't think people realize the hours you guys put in. Was it like 14, 15, 16-hour days sometimes?
Sure.
Definitely. I mean, it's a lot of work. And then I think what you don't realize is, you know, when you do like what I did, these guys did film shows. But when you're in a sitcom, you're in a room a little half the size of this, all for like 5 days. And I think when film is better from a standpoint of cast loveliness, because it gives people room to stretch out. When you're in a room like this with like 20 people all day, sometimes it gets a little crazy. So it's always a strange thing, because that's why you have sometimes casts that have a little problem. Because I think you're just too tight sometimes. But when you're filming, you can at least go to your trailer.
Outdoors once in a while.
Yes, outdoors, and you can lock your door and wait for the stage manager to say, "Okay, we're ready for you." That's it. So I think what these guys have may be a little better, but what Don was talking about, having a live audience, is the only way to do a show. Me and my, even though there's been big successful shows that are sitcoms, that, MASH probably coming to mind, that did not have an audience. But I've always said they shouldn't shoot shows in Hollywood. That's the first thing. They should shoot them like in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and they should shoot them live.
Yeah,
And that way you have regular people, regular things, and if it's not funny, you can go back and make it better. And that's one thing they're doing now, which is strange. A lot of sitcoms I do now is guest stars. They'll go, "We're going without an audience because we know what's funny." And you don't know what's funny. You don't know what's funny until the audience laughs. You can't just say, "We sat in a room and we wrote it, it's good." No. Put it in front of an audience and they will let you know.
Yeah, how different would your show have been without a live? I can't imagine. You walk in a room and you have that boom. Like without that, with a live audience, you're not going to have the same swagger, right?
I think you need a live audience because it's like having Kool-Aid without the water. As soon as
That's funny.
you gotta have some water in that Kool-Aid, baby. Then you know you got it.
Thank you, Reverend Jones. Anyone else would like the Kool-Aid? Off to your right.
But you had stunts and stuff, didn't you?
Yeah, they
You guys did a lot
were
of
very
physical.
physical.
Yeah, we didn't have a live audience. We had an audience, but they were dead.
Oh, wait a minute, I didn't say that.
We had no live
That was
audience.
John.
And we were in one of the last, I think the last of that era was the last single camera shows. So we shot with film and edited on a moviola. And like Jimmie says, finding funny is very difficult. And I've only done a couple of guest spots on sitcoms, and it's some of the most miserable time I've ever spent. Because the people whose job it is to be funny or to find funny are usually the most nasty,
Irritating.
abrasive, terrible people. Like, shut up! I'm trying to find what's funny, damn it! Shut up! I know what's funny. Oh, really?
Yeah. No, but
Well,
what John's talking about is that, writers and producers, this is their gig, man. And they gotta make this happen. And they wrote it, and if John does it the way it's supposed to be done, he does it. And, if the audience response is like this, and they go, "Well, then John's doing something wrong, because it's not really working. We had it written right." Shut up.
Right? Yeah.
John's
No,
wrong.
this was not funny.
John's not acting it out. Let me talk to you, John. And John will tell you, and I just not even speaking with John. He'll do a line on a regular audience show, and maybe it doesn't work. And what they'll do is they'll come to John and say, "Maybe you should try it like this." And you go, "This is the way it's supposed to be done." But they just can't take it because they didn't write a funny enough thing.
Right.
That's why you have a lot of reality shows now. Because you don't have to be funny, you don't have to really, it's loosely, or good,
Or have any noticeable, measurable talent whatsoever.
it's loosely scripted, so it doesn't really have to be that ha-ha funny. And if Don does a show, or John does a show, or I do a show, you will see that on your tushy all the time will be either the writers or the executive producers, because they want that thing to work, and if it doesn't work, it's not them, it's you.
And I remember, I watched a filming of 2.5 Men, and it was funny, and the audience is there, maybe an audience about this size, laughing, and then you'll see buzz, 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 buzz. The writers over there doing, and then they do it again, and they do it again with a different joke. They'll do it 4 or 5 times, and then I think at the end of it, they use the third one because the third one got the biggest laugh. But
Right.
the fact that the writers are coming up with it that quickly fascinates me.
Yeah, you just have to, you got to keep trying. And then I think both John and Don can mention this. When you're in a show, you're really isolated with your people, that are on the show. and you'll see that your best friends may be the stagehand guy, or the grip guy, or makeup guy, or girl, whatever. And I think what shocks you a lot of times, and I think both Don and John can speak to this, when you go out and you finally out, you know, just regular, and you realize the impact of the show. Because when you're there, it's like being in like a little tornado eye of the hurricane thing. But then when you go out, and I'm sure John, when he whatever, like, whoa! Especially like after the first year.
Oh, yeah.
The first year, you don't realize what's going on, and then you walk out and people go, John Schneider, oh my God!
And you hope that happens.
What did she just say?
She's talking about something else entirely.
Well, listen, I mean, a lot of-
Next time you watch a sitcom that has a live audience, you'll always hear, you'll begin to recognize a couple of different kinds of laughter in there. And the first person, the loudest, most obnoxious laugh will always be the same man or woman, whether it's 2.5 Men, whatever it is you're watching, unless it has a laugh track, which is canned laughter they put in later trying to make things that aren't funny, trying to make you believe they were funny. But when you watch, next time you watch a sitcom, that voice you hear time after time after time is always the writer.
Writer.
Always the It's always the same. It's some man or woman whose next payment for their overpriced car in their place in Beverly Hills depends on that laughter. So they are loud and obnoxious and trying to make you think. And sometimes it is funny, but I promise you, it's very, very. Same thing on I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
They're the ones, right, Jimmie, that introduced the live audience.
Yeah.
Lucy and Desi
Definitely.
are the ones that did that.
Definitely, without a doubt.
Because they knew how hard finding funny was. We've all done theater. It's hard to find funny. But we're good at it because we're on stage and you can't do another take. You get this second sense about, okay, this is going this way, and they laughed at that, so they will probably laugh at this if I do this. And our timing is always changing all throughout any live performance. You can't really do that on a sitcom.
And between you and me, or between another actor, if he's giving you the wrong thing, your comeback isn't going to work if the two of you aren't together.
Right. Well, it's not my fault. So
And I think one of the also the big deal is, and John and Don were, you know, big hit shows. Now the network picks it up.
you weren't.
John and Don were big hit shows, so now it's the kind of thing where they go, okay, we want to hit, we need it very quickly. So sometimes people will just say, let it ride, we'll put a laugh track in there, moving on, because we're trying to get something going quickly. And you'll find, like, I think all three of us have done Love Boats, right?
Yes.
Yes. And Love Boat is like really 2 takes, man, and that's it, you know. Camera is going by, you don't get it, too bad, we'll just go.
But I mean, stop and think Bob Denver with Gilligan. I mean, he just was this plastic man, just the falls and everything. There was no reaction to what he was doing. I mean, there was no audience there. It was his soul that made it funny. And it maybe wasn't the same way twice. That creative comedian is very difficult to teach.
Yep.
You either have got it or you don't.
Are there any cues? We've delivered a bunch of A's.
Anybody want to answer? Yeah, right in the back.
This question for all three of you. On each of your shows, who was like a father figure to you?
Father.
Well, kind of like Uncle Jesse.
Well, Uncle Jesse, certainly. Denver Pyle was for me. Great man, wonderful advice. Jimmy Best, to an extent too, who just went on to be with Denver and Sorrel and Peggy, and sadly Chris, the youngest member of the cast, to pass away. But yeah, Denver Pyle was wonderful every step of the way. Loved him, still do.
I don't think there was one. I guess maybe the professor, maybe. It wasn't any of the producers or crew or anything. I don't know. I don't think anybody gave me any advice.
None of my thing. No.
Well, you guys did a
We're
lot of...
sad.
You did a lot of stuff in
I feel great, but I'm sad for you guys.
How about, can you speak to the stunt work that you guys did in the Dukes of Hazzard?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we did certainly a lot of stunts, broke a lot of records, and several bones during the course of the show, but Tom and I never did any of the jumps. People think we did the jumps. We didn't do those. That's insane. We said friends don't let friends jump the General Lee. So it was a lot of fun. Did the fist fights, and I did the water stuff. I have a picture in there that a fan gave me a couple of weeks ago of me wrestling an alligator.
Ooh.
So I did it. So I did all the swimming. It wasn't a lot of swimming, but if there was swimming or underwater stuff, I did that. And if there was stuff up high, Wopat was a roofer, so he didn't mind being up high. I can't stand being up high, so I was always doubled up there, and he can't swim. So I was always the one in the water, and he was always the one up on the ladder. One time I jumped in, I rescued the girl from the alligator, put her in the rowboat, went down, fought the alligator, and came up, and Luke got the girl. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but that was my payment.
Toxic Pop has a new Facebook page. Like it to see pictures and keep informed about our upcoming events and videos. A link is in the description. Go to www.facebook.com/toxicpop1.